Close your eyes for a moment. Now ask yourself who just closed them. You've been living inside this body your entire life, but have you ever truly met the one living it? Most people go their whole lives without ever meeting themselves. Today might be the first time you do. You wake up every morning to the same face in the mirror, the same thoughts looping through your mind, the same stories you tell yourself about who you are, what you want, what you're afraid of. And somewhere along the way, you started to believe that this is you. The collection of memories, the roles you play, the voice in your head that never stops talking. You think you know yourself because you've been there for every moment of your life. But knowing about yourself is not the same as meeting yourself. Think about it. When someone asks, "Who are you?" what do you say? You might say your name, your job, your relationships. I'm a teacher. I'm a parent. I'm an artist. But those are just roles. Costumes you wear in the play of life. Peel them away, and who's left? I'm someone who's ambitious. I'm someone who's been hurt before. But those are just stories. Narratives you've stitched together from fragments of the past. Remove the stories, and who remains? I'm the one who thinks. I'm the one who feels. But thoughts come and go like clouds. Feelings rise and fall like waves. If they're always changing, how can they be you? So who are you really? Not the mask you show the world. Not the image you've built in your mind. Not even the inner voice that narrates your life. Strip all of that away, and what's left is something you may have never truly encountered. The one who is aware of all of it. The presence behind the personality. The stillness beneath the storm. Most of us spend our entire lives lost in the noise of our own minds, never realizing there's a vast, quiet space beneath it all. We're so busy being someone, trying to become someone, defend someone, improve someone, that we never stop to ask, who is the one doing all of this? It's like living in a house for 50 years and never realizing there's a basement. You've decorated the upper floors. You know every corner, every crack in the ceiling. But below, untouched and unseen, there's an entire dimension of your existence you've never explored. That's where you actually live, not in the thoughts, not in the emotions, not in the endless loop of identity and story, but in the aware presence that witnesses all of it. And here's the strange truth. You've never met that presence. You've been it this whole time, but you've never turned around to face it. You've been so identified with the character you're playing that you forgot you're also the stage. The light, the space in which everything appears. Most people live their entire lives as a character in their own story, never realizing they're also the author. You think you're the wave, crashing and struggling, and trying to become something more. But you're also the ocean. You think you're the thought, racing and worrying and planning. But you're also the silence in which thought arises. The Sufi poet Rumi said it perfectly. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. But we forget. We shrink ourselves down into this tiny, fragile sense of me. And we spend our lives trying to protect it, improve it, defend it, prove it. We become so consumed with who we think we are that we never stop to notice who we actually are. And that's the tragedy. Not that life is hard, not that we suffer, but that we suffer as someone we're not. We carry the weight of an identity that was never real to begin with. We defend a self that's just a collection of memories and conditioning. We chase happiness for a person who doesn't even exist outside of thought. And all the while, The real you, the vast, unchanging, luminous presence at the core of your being sits quietly, waiting for you to stop, to turn inward, to finally come home. Because here's the truth most people never realize. You've been searching for yourself your entire life. Every goal you've chased, every relationship you've clung to, every achievement you've pursued, you thought you were searching for success, for love, for meaning. But underneath it all, you were searching for you, the real you, the one that doesn't need to become anything, the one that's already whole. And the reason you've never found it is because you've been looking in the wrong place. You've been looking out there in accomplishments, in validation, in the future. But the one you're looking for isn't out there. It's right here. It's always been here. It's the one looking. Let me show you something. Right now, pause and notice. Who is listening to these words? Don't answer with a thought. Just notice. There's an awareness here, isn't there? A presence that's here, listening, perceiving, being. That presence has always been here. It was here when you were 5 years old, playing without a care in the world. It was here when you were 15, confused and trying to figure out who you were. It's here now. Same presence, same awareness. But somewhere along the way, you built a structure on top of it. A personality, an identity, a sense of you. And you started to believe that structure is you. But it's not. It's just something you built. Let me explain. When you were born, you didn't have an identity. You didn't think, I am shy, or I am confident, or I am broken. You were just pure presence, open, curious, aware. But then life happened. People told you who you were. You're so quiet. You're the smart one. You're too sensitive. And you believed them. You started to form an image of yourself. Then experiences came. Some were painful. Some were joyful. And from those experiences, you drew conclusions. I'm not good enough. I have to be perfect. People can't be trusted. Those conclusions became beliefs, and those beliefs became the foundation of your identity. Layer by layer, year by year, you constructed a self built from judgments, conditioning, wounds, and stories. And over time, you forgot that you built it. You started to think it was you. But it's not you. It's just a structure, a psychological framework you created to navigate the world. And like any structure, it can be examined. It can be questioned. It can be dismantled. Think of it like this. Imagine you're an actor on a stage. You've been playing the same role for so long that you forgot you're acting. You've become so identified with the character that you think you are that character. You feel their pain as your pain. You defend their reputation as your reputation. You live inside their limitations as if they're your limitations. But the character isn't real. It's just a role. And beneath the role, there's the real you, the actor. The one who can play any role. The one who is free. That's who you've never met. Not the character. The actor. Not the identity. The presence. And the moment you realize this, truly realize it, everything changes. Because you see that all the things you thought were you are just things you're experiencing. Thoughts, not you. Just something you're aware of. Emotions, not you. Just sensations moving through you. Memories, not you. Just images arising in consciousness. Even your body, this physical form you've been calling, meh, your whole life it's not you. It's something you're in. Something you're experiencing through. but it's not what you are. The mystics have been saying this for thousands of years. Hindu sages called it Atman, the true, self beyond the ego. Buddhists call it no, self, the realization that what you thought was you is empty of inherent existence. Sufis speak of fana, the annihilation of the false, self to reveal the eternal presence. Different words, same truth. You are not the person you think you are. You're the awareness in which that person appears. And this isn't just philosophy. This is your direct, lived experience if you stop and look. Right now, notice it. You're aware of your thoughts, which means you can't be your thoughts. You're aware of your emotions, which means you can't be your emotions. You're aware of your body, which means you can't be your body. So what are you? You're the awareness itself, the space, the presence, the unchanging background against which everything else appears and disappears. You're the sky, not the weather, the screen, not the movie, the mirror, not the reflection. And once you see this even for a moment, you realize you've been free this whole time. You just didn't know it, because you were too busy being someone. So how do you meet yourself? Not the idea of yourself, not the story, but the actual living presence that you are. It's simpler than you think, but it requires one thing most people aren't willing to do. Stop. Stop trying to become someone. Stop defending your identity. Stop improving your image. Stop running toward the future or clinging to the past. Just stop. And in that stopping, something reveals itself. It's been here all along, but you were too busy to notice. Let me walk you through it. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, let everything go. Let go of what you're supposed to be doing. Let go of what you're worried about. Let go of the story of who you are. Just for a moment. And now, ask yourself, what's here when I'm not trying to be anyone? Don't answer with your mind. Just notice. There's a presence here, isn't there? A simple, quiet aliveness. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a history. It's not trying to prove anything. It's just here. Aware. Open. Still. That's you. Not the you that worries about tomorrow. Not the you that regrets yesterday. But the you that exists now. The you that has always existed. This is the meeting. Not a dramatic revelation. Not fireworks or enlightenment. Just a quiet recognition. Oh, I'm here. Not here, in the sense of location, but here in the sense of presence. The simplest, most obvious fact of your existence, and yet the one you've overlooked your entire life. You've been so focused on the content of your experience, what you're thinking, feeling, doing, that you missed the context, the awareness in which it all happens. It's like watching a movie and getting so absorbed in the plot that you forget you're sitting in a theater. The movie feels real. The drama feels important. But step back and you realize it's just images on a screen. And you're the one watching. That's what this meeting is. A stepping back. A recognition. Not of something new, but of something that's always been true. You are not the movie of your life. You're the awareness watching it. And the moment you realize this, the grip loosens. The heaviness lifts. Because you see that all the things you've been carrying, the shame, the fear, the need to be someone, they were never yours to begin with. They were just part of the character. But you're not the character. You're the presence playing it. And that presence is untouchable. It can't be hurt. It can't be diminished. It can't be lost. It's always here, constant and whole, no matter what's happening in the story. This is what the mystics mean when they talk about inner peace, not a state you achieve, but a reality you recognize. You stop identifying with the waves and remember you're the ocean. You stop clinging to the clouds and remember you're the sky. Nothing needs to change for this to be true. It's already true. You just have to see it. And the way you see it is by stopping, by letting go of the endless effort to become, by resting in what you already are. The Zen master Bankei said, "If you haven't realized the unborn Buddha, mind, you've got a lot of suffering ahead of you. If you have, there's nothing more to seek. The unborn mind, the awareness that was never created and can never be destroyed, that's what you are. And meeting it doesn't require years of meditation or spiritual practice. It just requires a willingness to stop and look, to turn your attention inward, not to find something, but to notice what's already here. Because you've been here all along. You've just been looking everywhere else. So what happens when you meet yourself? When you recognize the presence beneath the personality, does your life suddenly become perfect? Do all your problems disappear? No, the circumstances don't change, but your relationship to them does. And that changes everything. Because once you've seen that you're not the character, that you're the awareness witnessing the character, you stop taking the drama so seriously. You still experience thoughts, but you're no longer enslaved by them. You still feel emotions, but you're no longer defined by them. You still have preferences, desires, fears, but you're no longer identified with them. There's space now. A quiet, spacious awareness that holds it all. And from that space, you can respond instead of react. You can feel sadness without becoming a sad person. You can experience failure without believing, I'm a failure. You can face uncertainty without collapsing into fear. Because you know, at the deepest level, that whatever's happening in the story, it's not happening to the real you. The real you is untouched. Always has been. Always will be. This is what the spiritual teachers mean when they talk about freedom. Not freedom from life, but freedom in life. You're still here, still living, breathing, experiencing. But you're no longer trapped inside the small, fearful self. You're resting in the vast, open awareness that you've always been. And from that place, life becomes lighter, not because it's easier, but because you're no longer carrying the weight of a false identity. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're watching a movie. A character in the movie is going through hell, betrayal, loss, despair. You feel for them. You're moved by their story. But you're not devastated, because you know it's a movie. You know the character isn't you. Now imagine you're so absorbed in the movie that you forget you're watching. You become the character. Their pain is your pain. Their fear is your fear. Now the movie is unbearable. That's what most people's lives are like. They're so identified with the character that they think they are the character. But when you meet yourself, when you recognize that you're the awareness, not the character, you gain perspective. You're still in the movie. But you're no longer lost in it. You can care without being consumed. You can engage without being destroyed. And that's a different way of living. Not detached, not cold, but free. So here's what you can do starting today. Once a day, maybe in the morning, maybe before bed, take 60 seconds to stop. Close your eyes. Take a breath and ask yourself, who am I? Really, not as a question to answer, but as an invitation to look. Notice the thoughts that arise. I'm this, I'm that. And then ask, who is aware of those thoughts? Don't search for an answer. Just notice the awareness itself. The simple presence that's always here. That's you. Not the thoughts about you, but the awareness holding them. Do this once a day, just 60 seconds. And over time, something shifts. You start to recognize yourself not as the story, but as the presence. And life slowly becomes less heavy. You've spent your whole life becoming someone, building an identity, defending it, improving it. And maybe, just maybe, it's time to stop. Not because there's anything wrong with who you've become, but because who you've become was never the whole truth. Beneath the roles, the stories, the conditioning, there's a presence that's always been here, quiet, whole, free. And today, for the first time, you might have met it, not as an idea, but as a living reality. You are not who you think you are. You're so much more. And the meeting doesn't end here. It's just beginning. Because now every moment becomes an opportunity to stop, to notice, to remember. You've never met yourself until now.